Welcome back to the Captain's Insights. I'm Ben, founder of Pirate Skills, and at the last weekend, during the third Vibe Hackathon here in Cologne, many of you asked me, can't we talk more about Vibe marketing? That means applying what we have learned in building with AI, which we usually call Vibe coding, also to marketing, sales, the funnel process. And here we are. Today, we're going to talk about how to Vibe code your actual marketing funnel. So it searches out for the right leads for you, attracts them, brings them into your own environment, into your CRM, so you can send them emails and are allowed to contact them and nurture them, build the trust so that they have an easier time purchasing from you. It's also another one of these cases where I believe I can showcase why it's much, much better to actually have the funnel also inside of the code base and not split product from marketing too far. So let's dig in. As every time, you can read this here on pirateskills.com, watch it on YouTube, or listen to it on our podcast on Apple Podcast and Spotify. So it all starts with getting out of your head that you should manually create your marketing funnels, meaning landing pages and lead magnets and follow-up sequences. Let me just show this to you in practice. We're going to use another Bridesmaid example. This is our agentic wedding planner that Christina and I are building. And here we got this little tools section, which is like a collection of valuable resources for our users that they can use as first-time brides to prepare their weddings. And we already set up a lead magnet, but already set this site up in a way where we can test users' interest to try out new lead magnets. But this is the only one public right now. It's the idea that after the future bride said, yes, that's the easy part, but now there's so much work to be done, how to get even started. Yeah. And the idea was to create like a 7-day playbook that looks something like this, but dynamically created for them, what they do next Monday, Tuesday to Sunday. Making some key decisions, not going down into certain rabbit holes, and becoming a customer, essentially. This is the lead magnet. And then if they sign up, they get a custom onboarding, they get an email sequence based on that ideally leads to them trying out the Bridesmaid agent and then deciding to upgrade from a free trial to Pro. That is the essential idea we usually run with. In the good old times, we had a WordPress website, but an app built by some techies. They were complete distinct tech stacks on different code bases, and it was very hard to communicate between them without a lot of effort from the developer part. So you had your WordPress website, you had to create a landing page. You usually have to use some kind of form plugin to create a form. But every time a customer wanted to sign up, they had to fill out that form again and again, like for every lead magnet you wanted to give people. This sign up also was not the sign up that they needed to do for the product. So there was another huge gap, and there was almost no attribution information between them, meaning that we actually know where users came from, which campaigns or keywords they came from before using the lead magnet, signing up for it, and then later converting to a trial users and a paid customer. After this revolution with the ability Vibe coding, also our marketing funnel, you can now have the advantage of having everything in one repo without any gap, meaning that the funnel and the product, so the whole marketing page essentially shares the same code base with you. And the same sign in and sign up process is the exact same for both the marketing and the product page, making it very seamless for users to switch back and forth. And you can record the user behavior as long as they consent from the first click when they join your website. So let me show you what this looks like in practice. Let's go back to the Bridesmaid example and switch to Claude Code. This is actually the conversation in which I built that lead magnet, went through the whole process, and here you can see at the end, it again turns into a skill. If you're not familiar with this process, read the last 2 articles where we continuously do a process and wrap it into an agent skill. So it's executed exactly the same way again the next time, and you can continuously improve that process. But essentially, if you look at the files in here, this is a lot of developer blah, blah, blah around this. But here in the app folder, there is the web app that lives in here, but also the normal homepage, the development environment, etc. So the app lives here, the website lives here, the API lives here, and they are all aware of each other. The agent is at least aware that this is all connected. All newsletters are in this email directory, or custom components we use for design on this directory. And that makes it very easy for an agent to really build a custom solution for your audience that is heavily integrated with your product, as you will see with this lead magnet. So let's go back to the article. If you want to read more about this, I linked the 2 mentioned articles here. But one of the important starting points for lead magnet is always the consideration, where do people come from? While we developed the content marketing skill in the last Captain's Insights, it gave us the ability to generate Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest posts like this here that are very, very customized to the language we believe our audience would enjoy the most, the design. And this is already giving them a little preview, not only as an image, but also as a text. So this is already valuable for the first-time bride, even if they don't click. This increases engagement, this increases trust, and the probability that they will click on this either organically through the link in the bio or paid with a call to action button below. But this makes everything ready for this whole promotion process of the lead magnet. Then, one of the huge things I love about this vibe coding process is you do not have to re-explain everything, how landing pages are supposed to look like. We already had an established design language for Bridesmaid. So it kind of knew what we wanted it to look like. It knows that we are on light mode and dark mode. I chose the dark mode version to showcase this just because it fits more to the Pirate Skills theme, but I assume that more brides are interested actually in this light mode version. And I don't have to re-explain this. I don't have to explain the gradients to be used. Everything can be repurposed and even improved while building new landing pages. So I love that a lot. And that way it's just a command, yeah, that you say, okay, we want to create a new funnel, and it asks you maybe how many funnels do you want to build. I've got 7 ideas, like, do you want to pick 1 or 3? I would always recommend just choosing 1, going for that, building this out, doing the process, then building the next one, just because there are so many things in the beginning to improve. For example, on this one, we completely changed the typography. We looked at the landing page of the lead magnet and we're like, this is not easily readable, especially the display font here. And we actually built us a little customization tool that only appears on our local environment, where us admins can choose how would this page look like with different fonts and different font weights, until we found this one that we really like now, that we find is easier readable and is a better match for the brand. And that then was converted to the entire website and the web app. So everywhere on this website, we now see this new font, and this was a fundamental change that you don't do that often, but we thought we had the right font, but noticed, no, it was not the right font, and we could change it throughout the website just based on a learning we had from building a real lead magnet. So let's go back. So this handoff, that is one of the key parts, like that you can continuously just say, I want another one of these, but with this twist. And there is no big discussion. There is no huge process with developers. You can do it yourself. You can customize it to your liking. So now that we have it all in one code base, it's possible to build a seamless experience for the user. Meaning, if they decide this looks cool, I want to use this lead magnet here, they click on here, they get custom onboarded to the app. But the real app, they are almost like in the app using the product. And that is a huge differentiation to what normally happens, where you like sign them up from email, then you try to email approval and you ask them, hey, could you also sign up for the product? It's nothing users will do. So they go from click to custom onboarding experience to answers that they were looking for, that we promised them in the lead magnet. You'll see on on the landing page, we actually show them a preview of what they're going to get. This is a little static version of like a daily plan from Monday to Sunday. But in the real system, it looks closer to the product. Yeah, this is actually the agent. This is the onboarding, kicking off the questions we wanted to ask the users that will help them make the first initial decisions and help them and support them through the research process and so on and so forth. That actually is a lead magnet that is so heavily integrated into the product that I would consider this pretty ideal. But we also honestly considered doing a pure PDF version. We saw brides even buying PDFs like this on platforms like Pinterest, and we believe there would be value in that as well. And it would also not require us getting used to a new tool and everything. We can A/B test that later. But even if it would be a bit more expensive to get users to sign up for this, I would still prefer it because it's closer to the product, making it more likely that the lead magnet actually converts to a sale. So this closeness to the product is really something beautiful once you also start coding your funnel inside the same tool stack and code base that you have here. So what you can also do later is then take it to the next level and write the emails from there as well. I don't have an example for this here right now, but all of my emails are also vibe coded. So the personal, maybe 1 to 3 email follow-up sequence is vibe coded as well. And the last thing that I really like is that during this whole process, we noticed things we didn't like in our strategic setup, in our content and storytelling way, like the typography, for example, or the caption length, etc. While we gave the AI feedback, we also always told it, change it here on this lead mag until we like it. And then when we loved it, we said, could you also do the necessary update, for example, in the storytelling and content skill so that the next iteration of the lead magnets can benefit from that? So your whole company becomes this brain for your organization and the one source of truth for it without having to think about like coding this or anything. Like I do never write any line-by-line code. I just talk through my voice with Whisperflow to my agent here on Claude Code and give it advice, give it opinions, have it create ideas. And then I say something like, hey, could you please wrap this up in a skill so we remember this for the future? And then this is saved up here under skills and voila. There's the new content skill with a couple of references, and there is the full description of how I want the next funnel to be created by, for example, hey, first read the context from the strategy and the context and the content folder, then propose a couple of ideas, help the user make a decision for one, build the emails, etc. And we will keep building this out. Next week, we're going to talk about how to set up the analytics for your funnel, but let's not get too far ahead. The main message is here that you can use this to actually improve the code base over time, every time you build a marketing funnel. And so marketing and building really joins here. So what I like you to do is to follow these 3 steps. If you are reading this, you can come to pirateskills.com, visit this website, and there are 3 copy-pastable prompts in here that you can get started with. I would assume that you maybe have already done some of the work that we suggested in the growth part of articles ago and the content part. But if you haven't, you can start with this without. It will interview you in order to create an ICP markdown file and an offer. ICP meaning ideal customer profile, asking you who's the perfect fit customer for you and what are you essentially offering. This gives them the context to suggest lead magnets for the right people and that actually lead to your paid offers. Then after you're done with that, the second prompt reads those files and then suggests a row of lead magnets for you that you don't have to agree with. You can steer them, ask them for more suggestions, but it should help you pick one and then build the landing page for you in your existing stack with your existing design components and in your brand voice. And then you have a full lead magnet and you can expand that beyond the landing page. You can ask it to create the promotional social media posts for it. You can ask it to create the email follow-up sequences. But in the end, you should go to step 3 and say like, okay, based on this and all of the feedback I gave you on the lead magnet and the language, please review the context documents we provided, and make necessary updates to our strategy, content, ICP, offer, MD, whatever you have. And if you don't want it to just mess around, then ask it to propose changes before making any, and then you just take the ones that you agree with. That's it. That is your funnel strategy in the repo, and it's a part of the series. As you can see, we go through the Bridesmaid setup from strategy to content to funnel. This is the table stakes, and for the more advanced folks out there who want to also invest a bit more in customer acquisition, it's very important to follow the next 3 steps, which is going to be data analytics, measuring what you can do, then traffic generation. We will set up, for example, an Instagram ads campaign with full tracking. And then last but not least, conversion optimization, where we optimize the landing page, the lead magnet, the email sequences, the ads, etc., until this becomes a profitable machine. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you're interested in going even deeper, every month we have free events like the Pirate Lab, where we meet online and discuss these latest insights. So if you're actually reading this on launch day, you always know, like Wednesday, we're going to talk about it in detail so we can exchange our best practices. This is online via Zoom. Then we, once a month, in case you're near by Cologne and would love to meet me also in person and the whole community, we got the wonderful Vibe Coding Cologne event happening actually in 2 days. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. We host a hackathon every quarter. The last one was last weekend, which was really, really wonderful to see over 100 builders with, I think we had 33 demos at the end that were really amazing to see. And then we also have the Pirate Forge, which helps you in a 12-week program of 6 weeks learning to vibe code your first SaaS and 6 weeks to vibe market your newly created SaaS to your first baseline of revenue. All right, that's it from me. Hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.